Grandmama used to pray, oh Lord, please save them from the evil snares and all the dangers that entangle. Yea, though they walking through the valley of the shadows, just prepare and make them fit for every battle, because I know they bound to come, and I know they bound to fall, but in your bounty, Lord, preserve their beautiful. Right, we still survive and offer grandma's prayers, surrounded by the jungle and the lion's den. Tread light, cause these traps is inconspicuous. They hide right in plain sight, thinking we don't see them when they linger. Look right beneath the surface, then leave a trail of corpses. Crisis, prices, your life a disposable commodity. Like living in this fantasy, conditioned to believe that the system even cares whether selling CDs or walking or driving or reading. Look, they don't even need a reason. It's just you breathing and being black. When it's such a pretty fall, it don't seem like we falling at all, at all. It's just a GMO dream, where things are never really what they seem. Please cue the violins, tell them just to play me something pretty, cause this gritty city got me screaming bloody murder. So they got me screaming. This gritty city got me on some. Look, get your hand up on my pocket. Distraction, so lazy they use the same tactics. Like condom with some trinkets, just don't let them get to thinking. That light bulb gets a blinking. You know niggas and ideas. Oh dear, my dear, you may not know me, but I know you very well. Foresight, they say hindsight is 2020. Well, tell me something, we gotta see that history is on repeat. And maybe it takes a beat and a melody to speak a little louder than the message in the clouds or the essence in the air. I swear, my God is just so clear that a system driven by fear can never give us nothing but more of the same things. Oh, when it's such a pretty fall, it don't seem like we falling at all. It's just a GMO dream, where things are never really what they seem. Please cue the violins, tell them just to play me something pretty, cause this gritty city got me screaming. It's murder. Got me screaming, got me. This gritty city got me on some.
What's happening, good people? You know what it is. You know what time it is. It's RSTV Black Power Media. We in the building this morning. It's about 11 a.m. EST. Let me start by saying that it is a Friday. TGIF. You know what I'm saying? And it's a great day to be here. It's a great day to be alive on this planet. Shout out to my sister, because I know that folks keep asking, who is that in the intro? And I see some of y'all don't read the show notes, but the person on that track was Sonny Patterson, who I would call, in my opinion, the poet laureate for our generation, for this particular movement. Sonny gets busy. He's also a member of the FTP movement. Shout out to the FTP movement. We are 19 years in it right now. Next year we will be commemorating our 20-year anniversary. And we have a whole lot of great people, a whole lot of dope stuff, man. Today, I usually don't come on this early, especially on a Friday. But it's a lot going on in the news. And I talked to one of my comrades who I've known for damn near a couple decades right now. You know, she's over on the West Coast. I first met her. I always tell this story. I tell her the story. So I'm gonna tell you the same story. When I first met her, it was during a Black August organizing committee commemoration of Black August. And this sister was pouring libation. And it wasn't no regular libation. You know what I'm saying? She was talking about putting broken glass in it. You know, shout out to the ancestors who put broken glass in the master's food, and shout out to those who slit the master's throats. You know what I mean? So she was, you know, she was paying homage to the ancestors, not just those that we talk about traditionally, but she talked about those who were in the house, but they weren't of the house. You understand what I'm saying? Because sometimes we get confused with house Negroes. You know what I mean? Folks always talk about the spook was set by the door. If you saw the spook was set by the door, you damn near kill them yourself, because you talk so damn much and you be trying to, you know, someone trying to do some work and you'll be out there trying to slit their throat. Shout out to all the freedom fighters out there. Shout out to the Malcolm X's, born and unborn. Um, I was tweeting yesterday and I was talking about the fact that some of you are so judgmental that if social media was around when Malcolm was around in Malcolm's days, then you wouldn't have let him made it out of Detroit Red. You know what I'm saying? You'd have, man, you'd have browbeat him to death. He wouldn't have stood a chance. There would have been no Malcolm. There would have been no El Haj Malik Shabazz. There'd have been no Omar Wale. So again, today, wanted to bring in my sister, uh, who is up early this morning to rock with me because in the news there's a whole lot going on. Y'all talking about the Titanic operators and all this other stuff, and we got to deal with it. We got to unpack. So I brought my sister on today, Thandisizwe, um, and Thandisizwe. I'm messing your name up, and I know she's gonna cuss me out so bad. It's early over here too. Thandisizwe, man, Chimurenga. What's happening, sister?
Brother,
Don't even. Hey,
you surprised me, brother.
I got tongue twisted. I was so excited.
Like, wait a minute, he not messing up my name, is he?
Hey, man, you know what I'm
Not
saying?
this brother.
I've been on BPM too long, man. You know how these
Well,
niggas.
no, I ain't gonna
Anyway,
cuss you out. I forgive you. I forgive
thank
you.
you. I appreciate that. How you feeling today?
I'm all right. I'm okay.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it is early for me because I be's a night owl, so
I already know.
I be prowling at night and going to sleep around this time. So
Yeah, if there's a such is there a if there's a living panther, a cat, that would be you. You know what I'm saying? You still here. So definitely
prowling at night, boy.
man. Listen. Now I think this the first time I've had you on ever?
I think it is.
This is crazy.
We chop it up over text, but yeah, I think this is the first time I've been on the show.
Well, I tell you what, just because of this right here, I think that you should have a show on Black Power Media. We're gonna make that happen. What you
I've
think?
heard that before.
Okay, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, Jared keep threatening.
He keep threatening. Well,
He keep
I'm gonna go
threatening.
ahead and sign the paperwork today, and it's official, so y'all be on the lookout. Now,
Okay.
you know, um, they, I know that a lot of people are mourning.
Yeah.
They're upset. They these as you said, you got the billionaires at the bottom of the sea. We just gonna go straight to it. We ain't gonna play with them today. You got billionaires at the bottom of the sea.
Bottom of the sea.
Last time I was in LA, um, man, Skid Row was looking like Skid Row.
Skid Row is rough, bro. It's rough.
You know what I'm saying?
Actually, Skid Row has migrated from Skid Row to
Okay.
various parts of the city.
Mm,
So you got many Skid Row. If there's an overpass, underpass,
that's
they
what it
there.
is.
If it's a wide open street, they there.
So basically, what they did, they decided even Skid Row would be gentrified, huh?
Well, yeah, exactly, because they move people in for development.
Of course.
USC, which is the university that is South Central, decided they were going to extend down the Figueroa corridor into downtown,
Right.
past the state. Well, at that time it was Staples Center. I lost track of what it's changed names so many times.
Hey
But
man,
this entertainment corridor complex, USC, again leading the way, um, taking over so much space,
Mhm.
and buildings in the downtown area now becoming lofts, and there's a brewery district. There's all these new up and coming well, this was a few years ago. They were
Right.
up and coming hip districts,
Right.
trying to entice people to come move downtown, because most of them, I'm sure, were tired of driving in from wherever they had fled to.
Right.
So they had to make room for all of that. They dispersed all the people who they could not lock up from Skid Row, dispersed them.
I mean, you don't have to be a uh, a scientist. You don't have to
Hmm.
be Nostradamus. You don't have to you don't have to look down the barrel of time to know that any downtown USA where it was quote unquote impoverished,
Hmm.
eventually these white folks will want to come either take it back or take it over because that's how they
Hmm.
do, right? Here
Hmm.
in Atlanta, we they have a $300 million fish bowl in the middle of downtown where they ran the homeless out, and they call it an aquarium. But a $300 million fish bowl where they kidnapped fish and all kinds of sea life from all over the world and brought them to the middle of the city. Now, if you know Atlanta, which I know you do because you lived here, Atlanta doesn't have an ocean. It's not on the water.
Ain't nowhere near no water.
Man, so they just said we're gonna just put it right downtown
In the middle of the hot concrete city.
Man, it's all good, you know. Wells go good here, you know what I'm saying? You know. But anyway, you know, speaking of fish bowls, right? and I see your background look like you down there searching for them now. I don't know, you know.
I'm looking for clues. Yeah,
You looking for clues?
I'm just searching for clues, bro.
Blues clues. Right on, right on. So we got, you know, we coming in like Dora the Explorer today. We're gonna explore, you know, this topic of capitalism. Let's get right to it. Like, what was your thoughts? Because I know that it's been all over the news, and you actually hit me up like, bruh, we need to talk.
So yeah, I wanted to talk with you because two things were on my mind, right? So there's these billionaires at the bottom of the sea, which everyone is talking about. I don't have a problem being with the shits and giggles. You know, I love a good laugh. I love a good chuckle. But there's just something been nagging me. You never know the full story. There's always something that's being hidden. But I'm feeling like there's something they ain't telling us about what's going on. But the other reason I talked, hit you up, I was telling you about this story that I had come across. Now, the billionaires, I think they went down Friday and communication was lost Sunday.
Right.
So Sunday, everybody gets into a panic, and Monday comes, Tuesday. Now, what they're saying now is them people probably died on Sunday. At the point that they lost communication, that was probably the point where the submersible imploded and everything was over with.
So check it. So before you hop into it, for folks who might not have, might not be hip to the story and don't watch TV and miss the news, that was blessed to do that, by the way. They don't know what the hell we talk about, and they might think we talking about SpongeBob or Charlie Tuna or somebody like that. Well, I want to show a little video clip of who these people are, get an understanding, and then we'll hop back in it from there. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no problem.
Let's get them caught up real quick.
All right.
You were checking out RSTV. This is Black Power Media, and I'm with my sister Thandi tonight. And as you see, she got the Ida B. Wells action going, and I think she lives up to what she's repping. But we're gonna take you to this quick clip. Take you to the right clip. I don't think this is the right one. Bang bang. Okay, let's try this again. We're gonna take you to this clip right here. You can tell when I don't have no technical assistance because I be moving like like an outlaw. But anyway, we're gonna share this with you real quick.
Sub's 5-man crew included 2 world-renowned explorers and underwater adventurers, as well as a wealthy father and son on their first ever trip of this kind. More now from CNN's Melissa Bell.
The 24th of July 1987 was my first dive to the Titanic with 2 team members, and it was an unforgettable moment. We had been waiting a long time.
That's Paul-Henri Nargeolet. The 77-year-old Frenchman has made more than 30 dives to the Titanic, earning him the nickname Mr. Titanic. David Gallo is Nargeolet's close friend, colleague, and an oceanographer himself.
I'm sure he did everything he could, or would do everything he could do to make sure that they had every chance of surviving whatever it was.
It's difficult to imagine what it must be like inside that tiny craft. What kind of leadership, calm character would he bring to that situation?
He thinks all the time. That's the kind of guy you want on the scene when things like this happen. The wisdom that guy has is pretty amazing. It's just now sinking in that this is not something that will be gone tomorrow. It's something that could be forever.
For Stockton Rush, the chief executive of the firm behind the dive, who's also on board, the experience of those involved has always been crucial.
There are 5 individuals can go on each dive. 3 of those are what we call mission specialists. So those are the folks who help finance the mission, but they're also active participants. So why we're not a fan of the tourist term is because these are crew members.
One of those crew members is the British billionaire and explorer Hamish Harding. He was part of 2 record-breaking trips to the South Pole and achieved a world record for the fastest circumnavigation of the globe via both poles. Last year, he went into space with Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin company.
I've always wanted to do this, and the sheer experience of looking out of the window is something I'm looking forward to.
In a post on social media over the weekend, he described feeling proud to be part of the Titans expedition. Also on board, Shahzada Dawood, who comes from one of Pakistan's richest family and lives in the United Kingdom with his wife and 2 children. He'd taken his son, Suleiman, reportedly just 19 years old, along with him. The family now asking for prayers for their safety and privacy for the family as the race to find the men enters a critical phase. Melissa Bell, CNN, Paris.
Well,
I know you were saddened by that news. You know what I'm saying? My sister, you know, I mean, I want to say that we talked about this story before they were found. Excuse me, a few days ago on the Remix Morning Show. And my dear brother Jared even did a poll because I was saying that, you know, I didn't care. And, you know, and, you know, and that's just the reality of it, because these were a bunch of rich bastards, and they were like, well, you know, one of them was Pakistani, and they had they were saying a 14-year-old, but a 19-year-old boy and all that. Now, my thing was like, they oppress us as well. And, you know, there's so many different issues and all that, but we're not wishing death on anyone. We're not, you know, like in the mortal words of Pop, he said, did they cry when they murdered Malcolm X? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, what you got for us?
So what I was starting to say, so it's 2 things. It's the billionaires at the bottom, and it's the degeneracy of capitalism, right? Because so again, Sunday, there's the implosion. Now the media has got everybody whipped into a frenzy, hoping and praying on these people. They were probably dead that day. At the point that the communications was lost, that was probably the implosion. But we go into Monday, we go into Tuesday. Oh, we got to find them. We got to find them. They ain't got but a little bit of air left. The air is going to be gone by Thursday. We got to find them. We got to find them. So Monday, Tuesday is when I learned about this other story that I sent to you.
Mm-hmm. You want to share that, or I can share it real quick?
I've forgotten his name. But this guy, he's Pakistani also. That he is there it is. Limo company operator sentenced to 5 to 15 years for manslaughter and crash that killed 20 people. I hadn't heard about this when it first happened in 2018. Just now hearing about the case now, because it went to trial finally. And at the end of May, he's found guilty and he's getting these sentences. He's a limo driver in upstate New York. And he's been charged with knowing that he did not knowingly not taking care of the maintenance of the vehicles. A group of 17 people chartered this stretch Ford Explorer. The brakes were bad. Now, mind you, again, this is the prosecutor's case. This is the state's case. I don't have the brief that his attorneys filed. I don't know what he's saying. But the state's case is that he knew the brakes were faulty. He had gotten notices of other things before and didn't care. He was cutting corners in order to make a little money. The limo driver is going downhill. The brakes fail. He slams into a convenience store. He's killed. The 16, I think, people on board are killed. And when he slams into the convenience store, 2 or 3 other people in the convenience store killed. That's how you get 20 people. I'm like, my God, 20 people dead. So this whole degeneracy of capitalism, of not giving a damn, of of shortcuts and no safety, because now we're into Monday night, Tuesday, and the media is talking about this interview that dude on the submersible did, where he's quoted as saying, well, you know, at some point, safety is a waste. Really?
Right.
Safety is a waste. He's quoted as saying, well, you know,
And
you
this
wake
is
up
the
in the
CEO
morning,
you're
you
talking
get out
about.
of bed, it's a risk. You leave your house, it's a risk. You get in your car, it's a risk. Yeah, that's true. All of that is a risk. But you can't compare that to what you have just done.
Right.
And now again, more information is coming out Tuesday, Wednesday, yesterday, Thursday. Lawsuit, wrongful termination, breach of contract of one of, what's his name, Stockton Rush, one of his former employees, who said this is not going to work. This is dangerous. It needs to be certified. And Stockton Rush is telling him, you can't, don't tell nobody that. You're going to mess up our money. He gets fired. He's telling the people, this submersible is not going to be safe if it goes past 1,400 meters.
Wow.
The Titanic is 4,000 meters. Now, you know, over there in Europe, they on the metric system,
which would be about 13,000.
We can tell 14. There's a difference between 4,000 and 1,400, right?
Definitely.
He knew, and they knew then that it was dangerous. And even today, the director of the Titanic is saying, you know, I knew something was wrong then, but I should have said something. But I thought, he literally says in the article, I thought someone smarter than me would say something. People knew and have known that this was dangerous. They either didn't say anything or were told not to say anything, because this guy, Stockton Rush, literally says, this is going to mess up my money. So I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't want people to think that I'm trying to say that there's a conspiracy and something going on here. I'm just saying, when I hear about this guy in upstate New York, the limo company driver, like, something's going on here. What's going on here? So I just sent you a link in the chat. If you can go to that link for me. Who is this guy? Now, the first time I heard about the story is the Young Turks. I go to the Young Turks page. They say they got it from the New York Post. You know, we got a lot of comrades in New York who like the New York Post is a trashy rag. So I'm looking around for other sources to get the guy's name. You put it up there a minute ago. His last name is Hussein.
Right. Shalit.
This is the company. The guy who owns the company is named Hussein. I say, okay, what can I find out about this guy? Where's he from? Who are his people? And look what I find.
Wow.
His father, Shahed Hussein, was an FBI informant. So was his older brother.
This is the family of the limo driver?
This is the family of the limo owner, the limo company owner, who's charged with cutting the corners.
Wow.
Which led to these 20 deaths. Now, at the time of the accident, Shahed, the father, and this guy called the FBI, it's been revealed, to figure out what to do. Because, you know, the FBI, they're our friends. Maybe they can get us out of this. The other thing, it takes 5 years for this case to come to trial, because finally last year, the year before, they had entered a plea deal for this son to not do any jail time behind this crash. It was a different judge who had agreed to the plea deal. By the time it comes to whatever, this new judge says, basically, hell no, that's crazy. We ain't gonna do no plea deal. You going to trial. And that's when he gets found guilty of all these deaths and is sentenced to 5 to 15 for manslaughter.
So
now,
20 deaths.
Huh?
20 deaths, and it's only 5 to 15 years for manslaughter.
A minimum of 5 years, the maximum 20 years.
Insane.
For 20 deaths, right? But now here's the thing.
Imagine it was one cop.
Okay. 1994. This is the father. Family owns a chain of restaurants in Pakistan. He's arrested on a murder charge. He flees to the US. He comes here. does a couple of things, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, speaks languages, gets into a scam with the DMV. He needs help. What do I do? After, this is a timeline of him. After various scams that he gets in, he comes to the attention of the FBI. They approach him about being an informant. So he's trying to work off charges. 2007, 2008. He's worked off his charges. He's become a paid FBI informant. What's going to be his job? He's assigned to spend time in mosques in Newburgh, New York.
Oh my goodness, this isn't connected to that Newburgh situation.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. The documentary they had out.
Mm-hmm. September 2010, Hussein testifies that he, the father, created the impression that this guy by the name of Cromartie would make a lot of money for bombing synagogues, etc. See, this is what the FBI and these other agencies always do. Whenever they come to movements and they talk about killing people and blowing stuff up, and they provide you with the weapons and the explosives, that's your informant. I don't understand why we don't learn that lesson, and why we don't publicize that enough so that people will know, here's your informant. But we keep reinventing that wheel over and over again.
Wow.
But yeah, this is so, like I said, I'm not trying to, has absolutely nothing to do. I'm not trying to say that there is a conspiracy or anything like that. I'm just saying, just hearing about what this guy did and the degeneracy of capitalism, which is already exploitive enough as it is, right? Exploiting the labor of people.
Right.
But now you're also not giving a damn about the working conditions because you're trying to squeeze every drop possible. So you don't give a damn about safety, whether it's brakes on a car, on a limousine, whether it's ventilation in a factory, or whether it's a submersible going down to the depths of the sea. Now, again, these are billionaires, people who can pay $250,000. But what do we know about Stockton Rush? What is it about this company? See, these are the questions we're not asking. Like I said, I have no problem with shits and giggles. I'm with it.
Right.
But we're focusing on the wrong thing, I think.
I'm with you.
There's something there that we're not hearing about. That other shoe has not dropped yet. That's been bugging me, and that's why I hit you up. It's probably going to come out in a couple of days. It may not come out. Hopefully, we got some Black Power Media listeners who can help us with the research. But there's something else here. I mean, we already know he's in with Jeff Bezos and that corporation in terms. Bezos wants to explore space. This guy wants to explore the ocean. Yeah. They're trying to rape and pillage. They are raping and pillaging Mother Earth as we speak and looking for a refuge after everything else is left unlivable. We understand that's also.
You know,
you hear me?
Yeah. When I was younger, I was talking to my uncle, and I said, we were talking about Palestine, talking about Palestinians, and I said, man, and that's supposed to be, the holy place. They even do that to he said, shit. He said, my country uncle said, shit, them motherfuckers would blow up heaven if they could. You know what I'm saying? And that's
your uncle is not wrong.
Man, that's the reality of this. I mean,
your uncle's not wrong. But now, so part of the questions we got to ask when you look at the media coverage, these are the 5 people, which tells us absolutely nothing. Right. These are the 5 people. These are the 5 people. Billionaire. First, how did you make your billions?
Exactly.
How did you make your billions in Pakistan?
You can't become a billionaire without.
Now the other dude. I forgot his name. The French guy, the one who they spent time talking about in that clip. What do we know about this guy?
Right.
We know he's born. What we can glean from the web. He's born in 1949. At the age of 3, he moves to Morocco, Casablanca. He's there for the next 13 years. Now, this is 1952. This is during the throes of independence for Algeria, for Morocco, for all of that area.
That's right.
He stays there until he's 16 years old. That's 1962, right around the time that Algeria and Morocco get their independence. Then he goes to France, 1964. He's 18 years old. From 64 to 86, he's in the French Navy. What were you doing in the French Navy?
64 to 86?
22 years. And then he goes, after he retires, he hops from that into Mr. Titanic, Mr. Deepwater Explorer. What were you doing in the French Navy is what I want to know.
Yeah, yeah.
No one's telling us this information. Nobody's telling us about this other dude, the Hamish. What was you exploring?
Right.
What do you do, Mr. Hamish? And these Pakistani folks, what do y'all do? What were we talking about before we went on air? Billionaires. Behind every great fortune is a great crime. What were your crimes?
Yeah. Blood on somebody's hand. You can't even, first of all, to become a millionaire is one thing. But like you said, to become a billionaire, you can't do it without suffering. There has to be pain and suffering. There has to be exploitation, because it means that you had to do the ultimate in order to get where you're going. Now, you don't have to yourself, but somewhere in that chain, there had to be some type of sacrifice. And like you said, to the average Joe, they'll take this as, oh, that's conspiracy. But it ain't no damn conspiracy.
No. Hey, one of my elders told me years ago, black folks be talking about conspiracy. They killing us in the open. There's no need for them to be whispering in a back room. They doing this stuff out in the open.
And listen, man.
So I'm just trying to make it clear. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not trying to say that because it's a conspiracy. I'm saying for us as folks who deal in black power and media, self-determining media, we see what everyone else is talking about on social media. I'm with the shits and the giggles, but what are we missing? Questions need to be asked that the media is not asking and is not answering. We have to be the ones to ask those questions.
And at the end of the day, I'm pretty certain that when we dig deep enough, some of these quote unquote billionaires will be tied to media, some form of fashion. Again, this is when you talking about folks like that, especially, like you said, how did you get those billions in order to want to explore deep sea diving? You know what I'm saying? You want to get inside of a sub, and then you have one of the cats. They said he went to. He did that joint. He went to with the Arctic Circle or the North Pole twice on an exploration. Went with Bezos out of space. These cats. This sounds like full spectrum domination. And then you talk about and
then they're promoting private funding.
That's right.
Of this type of work, not government.
Right, but as you and I both know, government is based off of private funding. It's based off of exploitation. When you talk about Cop City, you know what I'm saying? This is it is a corporate. You're not up against the police. You're up against the police unions, which is a corporation, which is supposed to be a nonprofit. You understand what I'm saying? Which is not even a real union. Number one. But then you have all these corporations who are backing and sponsoring it. And that is the fabric of U.S. government. You know
and government is in these instances, government exists for the bidding of business.
Absolutely.
Of corporations.
In every sense
capitalism.
Right.
Of capital, not for the people that they claim that they're for.
Man, but the limousine driver, because you said
the owner
mentioned. Yeah, I keep saying driver, and I absolutely mean owner, and I appreciate that correction.
Because the driver was killed also.
So the owner, these 20 people that lost their lives because this bastard, for all practical purposes, didn't want to get the brakes changed. Is that the story?
Didn't want to get them fixed. It probably would have cost $2,000.
Man, for the brakes. But you cost 20 people lost their lives. But you come from a piece of shit family because your father was an FBI informant and your brother.
May have been a murderer before he became an informant.
Wouldn't doubt
He
it.
fled.
Yeah.
He fled Pakistan.
Matter of fact, I think, did you say that he was it a murder that was committed in Pakistan that he was accused of?
He was accused of murder, but he fled. That's how he gets to the U.S.
and got a job with the FBI, like any other
comes to the attention of the FBI because he's doing all this shady stuff.
Right.
He did shady stuff over there, but now you're over here doing shady stuff. Go talk to this guy.
Yeah, let's put him in the mosque. You know what I'm saying? Let's create crimes where there are no crimes. You know what I'm saying?
That's how they do.
But I'm glad that you point that out because again, living in LA, you know, both of us, you know, dealing with these OGs and elders who we know that experienced that firsthand early wave of counterinsurgency, you know, and seeing, you know, the results of it. It is somewhat stunning, and I know you can agree, it is somewhat stunning that we live in a situation where even folks who consider themselves in a movement still, I mean, they're blind to counterinsurgency. Like there's no, you know, it's like the same thing, the same trappings over and over again. But as long as, you know, there's a dollar, as long as there's some type of funding, then it doesn't seem to matter. You know what I'm saying? As long as there's resources or there's someone that can get them popularity or a certain amount of limelight, then the only nation they care about is a donation.
Well, you know, this Hulu documentary recently of Afeni and Tupac,
right?
Really, it was visual for me, and like it amplified the kind of things you already knew it, but now here it is in your face again. It's reminding you so much of the trauma that these elders have gone through, which made them turn to drugs, to self-medicating. So much of the trauma and what I would call that's what PTSD is,
right?
Being shell shocked, right? And so the elders, they're around, but they're also kind of not. So who's telling the new generation these stories? We're not talking about these experiences, in my opinion, broadly enough, far enough. Too many people are missing this information, so they're missing the lessons and falling through the cracks.
That's right.
And so this is how you get the rise of these activists, these influencers, these people. I look at some of these activists on Instagram, and I get confused. I'm like, are you a model or are you an activist?
Man, listen, man.
I mean, because I see you in your swimsuit. It's a nice swimsuit. I'm just saying, though. What you doing?
We ain't mad at you about it.
I'm not mad at you. What you doing?
Right. But we don't. But we don't. But the thing is, because there is a lack of accountability, because there's complacency, and the truth is, just keeping it funky. A lot of our quote unquote comrades secretly want to rub elbows with them. Secretly want to be on the scene and in the mix, and they want some of that wop to splash in their face. I'm just telling you what it is. I can talk to you like this because you understand what I'm saying. So it's like, you know, and the thing is, it's like when someone like you or I have the audacity to name some names and everybody want to scramble, we bugging out. You know what I'm saying? You got folks. I mean, folks will call you every now and then asking about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, who did they who you know how to reach me? You know what I'm saying? I got the same amount of digits you got. You know what I mean? But the reality is they got used to trying to quiet folks down. I'm over 50 now. So 25 years ago, you know, you might have had some folks to be like, well, you know, brother, approach it a different way, so on and so forth. Now I strategically chose my elders. So the elders I'm with, you know, as soon as somebody asks, well, did you speak to the elders? Yeah, who you talking to? Okay. Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, an actual real elder,
Bona fide.
not a
You know what I'm saying?
pretender.
You know, you said something earlier, and it reminded me of Fulani, Fulani, and may she continue to rise in power, right?
Ashe.
Fulani said to me one time, she said, "Yeah, they'll say you paranoid, but she said you rather be paranoid and alive than delusional and dead,
Okay.
because you got all these folks that's walking around. I mean, folks don't even. You talk about security. That even. I mean, folks walking around like, like it's like we say we're at war, but the fact is, to quote Dead Prez, we ain't at war. It's a massacre.
Well, it's like, Mario Badele, one of the co-founders of the Provisional Government of Republic of
Right?
Africa,
I mean, he
had
right. Yeah,
that saying. He said, to be at war, that takes a declaration.
that's right.
There's a consciousness, and we're not acting consciously. So we may not be at war, but we in a war.
You definitely in it.
We
You
in a
can
war.
choose if you want
We
to.
need to start acting like we're at war.
Man, listen. If you just cause you dancing, that don't mean that gas oven won't burn your ass. You know what I'm saying? You want to hop up in there if you want to, do your thing. You wanna place this noose around your neck. You know what I'm saying? And see how hard how you can jump. Then do your thing. But I appreciate you bringing these thoughts to the platform, because you know what you did and what you're doing is what is supposed to be done when you're talking about journalism, right?
Well, I got one more for you.
Well, you hopefully got more than that, 'cause we got a
got
little bit of time.
I got
What
at
you got?
least one more for you, right?
Run it,
Okay, so Blue Origin.
please. Let's
This is
talk
the
about that.
company that Jeff Bezos of Amazon has put together with, I think it was Hamish. If not
Mhm.
Hamish, then it was Stockton Rush. One of
Right.
them folks on the submersible, right? What is Blue Origin? This is what they say it is. This is their vision for the benefit of Earth. Blue Origin was founded with a vision of millions of people living and working in space for the benefit of Earth. Blue Origin envisions a time when people can tap into the limitless resources of space and enable the movement of damaging industries into space to preserve Earth, humanity's blue origin. That's frightening enough, but it goes on. So that was their vision. That was their vision. This is their mission. Increase access to space through reusable rockets. Blue Origin is working today to create that future by developing reusable launch vehicles and in-space systems that are safe, low cost, and serve the needs of all civil, commercial, and defense customers. Blue Origin's efforts include flying astronauts to space on New Shepard, producing reusable liquid rocket engines, developing an orbital launch vehicle with New Glenn, building next generation space habitats, and returning to the surface of the moon. These endeavors will add new chapters to the history of spaceflight and move all of humanity closer to that founding vision. So recently, I just started watching this series called The Handmaid's Tale.
Yes.
If you haven't seen it, you need to see it.
It's off the
You
chain.
need to see the series. It was actually a movie based on, it's a book by Margaret Atwood, but a movie was made of it, and the movie was brought to my attention. These are white. Basically, the society is white folks are no longer reproducing.
Right.
So they like, we got to do something. We got to get these white women pregnant and having babies, because there's too many of these other folks. And in the movie, in the opening scene, they got truckloads of black and brown people that they are busing out of the city. That's how I first heard about the movie. So now this is, I guess maybe in the 90s, if not, I don't remember when. I think it was in the 90s. So anyway, 2017, The Handmaid's Tale comes about, and it's about reproductive servitude. But here's the thing, right? it's a diverse cast now, but we know they talking about white folks.
Right.
The men are running society and the women are subservient. These men keep talking about, we're trying to save humanity. We're trying to save humanity. We've got to save humanity. Okay. All right. So I'm watching that series now. I also just, flicking around the other day. You remember the Da Vinci Code?
Yes.
Book by Dan Brown's, movie with Tom Hanks. So it's basically like a little trilogy going on. You got Da Vinci Code. After that came Angels and Demons, which I've seen both of those. But there's a third movie that I hadn't seen. It's called Inferno. I started watching that, but got distracted. I turned it off. I can't even tell you what it's about, but I can tell you some of the opening scenes. This guy is talking about the fact that humanity needs to be saved. We've got to burn all of this stuff down and restart again. What were we just watching last year or earlier this year on HBO? The Last of Us. So my point being, art imitates life.
Right.
Life imitates art.
Absolutely.
These white folks, these white supremacists who believe that everything centers around them, dibbling, dabbling up in space. Well, we see what happened when they went to the bottom of the ocean. But don't think that they're going to stop. They're going to keep trying, right? They looking around. We got to save humanity.
Right.
What was that other billionaire's name? I think his name is Gates. Bill Gates made his money in computers.
Right.
Concerned about overpopulation.
Right.
All this talk about humanity.
And he got in the vaccine business as well, though.
He's got a what?
I said, he hopped in the vaccination business.
Yeah, because he's concerned about overpopulation.
Yeah, he's trying.
But I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just saying.
Right.
But what are these billionaires, these moves that they're making into space, the bottom of the ocean? We've got to save humanity. They only talking about a particular strata of humanity.
You're damn right. And
they only talk about
those who can afford
a particular demographic. And not just who can afford it,
right?
Who got the complexion,
right? And who's going to
that protection,
right? With a few servants to come along with them, and I'm quite sure that the connection, if we around long enough, we'll see that some of the test tubes that they use will be enslaved or imprisoned, quote unquote, Africans and others, from some of their private prisons that they own.
The goes back to what we started talking about in them again, the degeneracy of capitalism. This is a degenerate, filthy,
that word is
slimy system.
Please say that one more time.
Degenerate, filthy, vile, foul. I mean, people in Amazon warehouses are dropping dead. You know that, right?
Without a doubt.
They're dropping dead.
While Whitey's on the moon.
In Bessemer, Alabama, in Fort Wayne, Indiana, people in Jeff Bezos' warehouse are dropping dead. And co-workers are afraid to say anything. They don't want to get fired. Meanwhile, Whitey's on the moon.
Ain't that something?
It's cold, man. It's cold and it's filthy and it's vile.
Man, listen, man. But
whether it's some brakes failing in upstate New York,
that's right,
or pill bottle exploding at the bottom of the ocean.
You said a pill bottle.
It's
like a sardine can.
A sardine, man.
$250,000 a piece to go.
First, see, that's why I was saying that's what's bothering me. There's got to be something else going. It's too crazy.
Right.
It's too crazy. You got a PlayStation.
Yes.
And you're sealed in and you can't unlock the. Who does that? Who does that?
Hey, but one good thing though is that the CEO happened to be in there, so that's a blessing. You talk about how dangerous it is, and he said, what did he say about danger? That quote you said.
At some point, safety is just waste. Okay.
At some point, safety is just a waste.
It's just a way. Oh, safety is just okay. All right.
Ain't nothing colder than a white man.
So, yeah, well, I don't know. Just as cold, going back to these activists and influencers.
Oh yeah.
We got these black folks who want to be billionaires.
So how do we deal with them? Because you've been in the movement for quite a while. You know what I'm saying? You've seen me. I think you could bear witness. That this is what we do. You know what I mean? And that's the beauty of it. We don't need any long bios. We don't need no shout outs, no applause. We don't need no folks ask me about a CV. I don't even know what a CV is. You know what I'm saying?
Do you have a CV? Do I have a what?
Yeah, I'm like, what you mean? If my position, if you don't know what I do, and you don't know nobody that knows what I do, then maybe I'm not for you. You understand what I'm saying? And there ain't no shit talk. I put every ounce of me in it. So if you calling on me to do something, you should know something that I do. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying.
In 2023, we're not doing that. We're not having that.
So how do we deal with these people? Because I think that, to be honest with you, a lot of our folks who came up with us have succumbed to this madness. And it's like, okay, well, this is the way it's moving, and this is the way the nonprofits are gearing it, and this is, hey, listen, man, I don't care about your moopies, your movement groupies. I don't care about your fanfare, your applause, how many blue checks you got, how many checks you receive. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, either you for or you against. You know what I'm saying? And in the words of Kwame Ture, everybody that's for the same thing might not be against the same thing, and everybody against the same thing might not be for the same thing. So my question to you, because I'm learning too, a lot of these folks who know that we're coming, they're starting to reach out now, and hey, brother, such and such. Listen, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? That's all good. Like the brother Chairman Fred say, man, he said, you can invite me to the joint, put on a bow tie and all that, invite me to the dog show, groom my nails, everything, put a bow tie on me. But when I lock down, I'm still a pit bull. So I'm trying to figure out, like, how do we deal with these characters? Because a lot of people are going to start getting their feelings hurt, because at the end of the day, this is bigger than us, and we're dealing with ancestral treason if we stand by and allow certain things to go down on our watch. Being quiet to situations is just is louder than being vocal. You know what I'm saying? When you don't speak up against certain, but we quick to shift it on everybody else though. Well, the entertainer. I ain't talking about no fucking entertainer. We talking about, you all who consider yourselves a part of our people's liberation movement. How do we deal with that? That's the part we don't want to touch.
We got to remain consistent. Like you said, you've been doing this work, FTP work for 19 years. You've been doing other work longer than that. We have to remain consistent. Those of us who have a commitment, we have no choice but to remain consistent. And we have to, I believe in utilizing what we can to raise consciousness. It was Huey Newton who said, Black people learn through observation and participation.
Right on.
We've got media. You have to have our own media. Absolutely. But we've also got to do organizing. There's also got to be activism and organizing. That's what Brother Kamal is doing with community movement builders, right? That's what y'all do with FTP movement. That's what folks are doing in New Orleans and Jackson with Cooperation Jackson. We've got to have organizing. There's got to be concrete organizing. There's got to be a media that not only amplifies the struggles and the work of the movement, of the activists, of the organizers. Like I said in the beginning, we got to ask the questions ain't nobody else asking. And see, that's the difference between our media and traditional media. They don't like for you to speculate and raise questions. And I can, to a certain extent, I can understand that. Just stick to the facts. But I got to know what's going on, because something's going on.
Right.
What's going on?
Yeah, ain't no script over here. You know what I'm saying? Our script is anti-colonial, anti-imperialist, anti-capitalist, anti-racist, anti-fascist. This is what it is over here.
That's the script that we following.
Man, anything else is uncivilized. I think that again, I'm gonna let the cat out the bag. This sister will have a show on this platform, and if you all want to see,
I can ask questions.
yeah.
I can raise questions and ask questions.
Hey man, if you gonna come on here first, you gonna do it. So I mean, I don't know, man. Y'all looking to see more of her on the platform. And I kind of think too, along with that, I'm kind of thinking that we need to link up more often, because we titled this particular program today, let's talk about some issues. And I think that Thandi did an excellent job in talking about some issues. You know what I'm saying? And I think we both talk a whole lot of, even saying ish sound bad, because we
Well,
talking shit.
it's the internet. I think we shouldn't cuss, but
You
we
should cut?
can.
All right, okay.
We can, but yeah.
No doubt, no doubt. Now you're on the air over in Los Angeles?
At the moment, I'm on Pacifica on Thursdays at 7 a.m. That's Pacific Standard Time, 7 to 8 a.m. And I've been concentrating on local, if not locally things that impact us locally here in Los Angeles.
Right.
But you know,
what's the for folks that are in LA? I know you said Pacifica. They might
KPFK.
KPFK.
KPFK.org on the web. 90.7 FM Los Angeles, 98.7 FM Santa Barbara.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, listen, always love and appreciation. We looking forward to bringing you on the platform. I think is absolutely necessary.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate y'all.
And honestly, when you mentioned coming on, I was like, all right, bet, because I'm realizing, I'm like, damn, I ain't never had you on. That's insane. Number one, but number two, if you like, we need to talk about something. I know you weren't gonna just come up here with nothing basic. You know what I'm saying?
It was on my heart, brother. It was these billionaires. It was on my heart, and it was on my. I mean, black folk. There's a lot of I saw somebody say, y'all mammies and coons crying over these white folks. I'm deleting people. That's cool. That's fine.
Right.
But it's a lot of black people that's scratching their head like, they did what?
Right.
And that speaks to worldview, though.
Right.
That speaks to worldview. You did what? You went to the bottom of the ocean in a sardine can with a Xbox controller.
Listen.
And the door's locked and you can't get it. Really? You did that?
Yeah. Yeah. You
did that. You paid $250,000 to do that.
Yes.
You sending money to Ukraine.
That's right.
You got personal missiles going to the moon. You paying $250
to go see. Wait. But not only did they do the deep dive, what they were going for. Now I could see if look, man, I understand my ancestors, whatever, so on and so forth. They down here, so I think they might still be alive. I mean, give me a good reason.
What's the reason? Maybe they down there just chilling like mermaids.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think they dead. I mean, I'm saying I
don't really believe that. Wow. Maybe
I'm gonna get it.
They done developed gills. Well, they've been down there so long. Maybe they've developed gills and they just chilling under the hub. No, that's not why they went.
I saw Wakanda, right? Yeah.
Which is also the degeneracy of capitalism. This voyeurism. This is some type of voyeurism, man.
Hey, man. Like my pops used to say, if you like it, I love it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was talking about my brother one time. He said, man, that fool gonna let that girl take all his money. He just talking about whatever she say, he say. Then he looked over, he said, hey, man, if you like it, I love it. You know what I'm saying? That's where we are. If they like it, we love it.
Yeah, okay. We got to ask questions, man. We got to ask. Like I said, I'm with the shits and the giggles all day and all night.
Yes.
But this ain't right. There's something else.
It ain't.
Something else going on here.
Man, listen, man. Something funky going on. But I definitely, like I said, appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me, bro. And
man,
I always laugh when you talk about that libation. That chuckles me.
Man, listen, because you ain't know what I'm talking about.
You.
Listen, I was telling people, because honestly, when you've been around so long, man, you know, certain libation, I mean, it's like, you know, it's like, man, you know, you know, ancestors gonna move with what you talk about. Like, stop playing. You know what I'm saying? But you said into the house Negroes. You know what I'm saying? The ones who put the, I was like, oh man. I'm like,
The
okay.
ones who put, this is for the house Negroes who put ground glass, arsenic, spit, and
Yes.
other unmentionables in masses' food.
I was like, boy, look here, man. I'm like, I gotta know who that lady is. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, on everything, I turned to OG Shaka and Rising Power to OG Shaka Thandisizwe,
Ah, shame.
who was my former chairman, you know, of the Black August Organizing Committee. And I said, who is this sister right here? He said, oh, you don't know Tanya? You know, we having a whole convo, and he bust out laughing because he said, because I said, man, he said she just like you, huh? I went and introduced myself, and I think that at the time you didn't really give a damn about how you doing, brother Kalonji. Okay, get out my way.
I don't remember that. I don't remember doing that. I don't recall, brother.
Hey,
I
look,
don't recall that. I
hey
don't
man,
recall that.
they call it convenient amnesia. But listen, we're gonna rock again real soon. We might have to do this. Might have to do this on Fridays. You know what I'm saying? Maybe at 11. Let's talk about this.
We're gonna hey, let's talk about it because it's on my heart. It's on my heart.
We appreciate you sharing your grief and mourning with us today. Mourning these billionaires at the bottom of the sea.
I'm all broke up about them.
Man, for folks who just checking us out, this is RSTV, and this is my dear sister Tandy, who we are looking forward to getting on the platform sooner than later. But in the meantime, she always got a room over at the crib here. You know what I'm saying, at RSTV. You know, so we may have to do this. Uh, which I say good show to come after EYL. We might have to do it right after Earth Liberation. You know what I'm saying? Give them what they need. You know, so definitely appreciate you all checking us out. Stay on point. Stay on top of you know, on top of the joint. Stay ready for revolution. Have a powerful weekend. For those of you who are traveling, you know, be cool, and we're gonna win in spite of ourselves. Tony, be safe. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, brother. Much love to you.
No doubt. You're checking out RSTV. Go hit the likes, the subscribes, you know, share this with your people, with your networks, and stay on top of things. Till next time, we are OUT.